Satan's name was never Lucifer, but I'm pretty sure he likes to be called that. What's up with that? Let's give it a honk! Once upon a time, I was looking into the absurdities of KJV onlyism. One of the things that onlyists like to say is that all other translations give Satan a title that belongs to Jesus, namely Morning Star. So all the other translations are blasphemous, and there's only one correct one through which God preserved his written word. In archaic English, of course, because that's what they spoke ever since Moses led the 12 tribes out of Egypt. But that is a topic for another day. The verse in question is Isaiah 14:12, which in most translations reads something like this: "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn! You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations." But in the KJV it reads, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" Seriously, how do people read this? There are two major problems with the KJV onlyist argument. Number one, this passage isn't about Satan at all. Start back at the beginning of chapter 13 and you'll see this whole passage is about the literal kingdom of Babylon being obliterated and humbled. More on that in a moment. Number two, you won't find the word Lucifer in any Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic manuscript because it's Latin. You'll notice I said word, not name, because as you can see here, it comes from the Latin Vulgate and it was not capitalized because it isn't a name. Near as I can tell, it appears two other places in the Latin Vulgate, Job 11:17 and 2 Peter 1:19. Neither of those passages have anything to do with Satan. You see, the same King James that the Puritans were fleeing by risking life and limb sailing for America mandated that this new translation preserve traditional names, spellings, and things of that sort. The people who translated the KJV knew the word wasn't Lucifer, but rather day star, or what we call morning star. So they side noted it in the original 1611 as or o day star. The erroneous tradition that this passage was regarding the devil as being the king of Babylon, similar to the manner that there's a demonic prince over Persia, referenced in Daniel chapter 10, harkens back to the days of the Latin Vulgate. Thus, the Latin word Lucifer became synonymous with Satan, and the tradition was preserved through English translations. But wait, you might say, even the Geneva Bible says Lucifer right there. And you would be correct. But there is a difference. The Geneva Bible footnote reads thusly: "Thou that thoughtest thyself most glorious, and as it were, placed in the heaven, for the morning star that goeth before the sun is called Lucifer, to whom Nebuchadnezzar is compared." The Geneva Bible pointed out that the morning star that goes before the sun, what we know of today as the planet Venus, was called Lucifer, and emphasized this passage is about Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon being compared to it. So Satan, who comes as an angel of light, most likely enjoys being called morning star, a title Peter assigns to Jesus in 2 Peter 1:19. And Jesus also used the title for himself in Revelation 22:16. This would be why cults and other forms of Satan worship refer to themselves as Luciferian, because it only makes sense that someone who is trying to supplant Jesus in every way, shape, and form would try to steal a title from the risen king. Before you turn on caps lock and accuse me of saying there are errors in God's word, I said nothing of the sort. I'm pointing out there are errors in tradition and there are difficulties in English translations. Ancient cultural references don't carry into today's society, and the precision found in the linguistics of antiquity generally does not carry into today's vernacular. Which is exactly why I won't limit myself to just one translation. If I find something confusing, I'll read other translations. I'll check the footnotes, click into the Greek and Hebrew, see if I can find commentary from people who know those languages, and dig deeper not just physically, but I'll pray about it and let God bust open my preconceived biases with His truth. So, the moral of the story is, don't let society and culture define for you what is accurate based on tradition, or on the opinions of some famous person who wrote a book. Instead, let God shape your beliefs with His Word, but have grace for those who have different views. That's just my opinion, but I'm right. Until next time, see you in the trenches.